In action time, a 14-year-old Oldenburg gelding by Actuel out of Anne Lady Hofafar by Alexander. Bred at the Rasmussen stables. Owned by Tanya Strasser-Shostak and Evie Strauss, and ridden by Tanya Strasser-Shostak, coming from Saint-Adèle, Quebec, Canada.
I'm Janet Foy, and we're continuing with the Young Rider tests here in Wellington, Florida. Riding now is a lovely young Canadian lady who comes from the Pracht, the German Pracht, fabulous dressage family. Mother Evie Strasser, many-time team member for Canada. Is obviously following in her mother's, I would say, footsteps, we'll say bootsteps. A very, very expressive horse. Her mother has the Good Time stables, and they name their horses with time after them, so you'll know that Evie's picked them out. And if you ever win the lottery and you'd like a wonderful horse, call Evie and she'll find you a fabulous one. She has a wonderful eye. And you can see this horse is very expressive and elastic. Doing a good job. You see how she's allowing the movements to flow from one into the other, and not running, not being hurried, not breaking up. So we'd say a little bit riding from half halt to half halt instead of running from movement to movement. And there we could have a little bit more power, a little bit more ground cover, a little more risk. She and this horse have been together for at least 2 years, and he's a very strong, powerful horse. And first year he wasn't convinced that Tanya was going to be able to be his rider, but she's done an amazing job. Could have had a little more bend in that right half pass, organized end transition there, and a good turn. Now for me, the walk steps, the neck's a little low for collected walk, and the walk could have a little bit higher, more active step, a little more proud look. And pirouettes again, could have more activity there behind. Turn wasn't quite finished before he left. There, the one step was out against her left leg, her outside leg. And there in front of all three judges, you won't be able to hide that. In the collected walk, I'm sure they'll make comments about the frame and the activity. Extended walk showing fairly good stretch out to the contact. Moving well through his body, shoulder has freedom. Can maybe show a little bit more overstep, a little more ground cover. Canter depart straight. Part of the canter depart score is also this canter here through the short end. You have to look and evaluate the canter. She should arrive here on center line slightly before X. The changeover is always a moment thinking straight ahead rather than sideways. Very organized. Maybe a little more bending in both half passes and perhaps just a little more activity in the canter for higher marks. See the preparation, he takes weight. Fairly organized in the turn, could have been a little smaller. And again, I keep mentioning the hind legs could just have a little bit more activity. But a lot of things, a lot of good things there. You could have a little more right bend for me in that pirouette. Remember, the horse in the pirouettes, walk and canter, need to be positioned in the direction of the turn. I thought the flying change at sea was very expressive. 2, 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5. So counting was correct. He was very straight. Gained a lot of ground, covered the diagonal very well. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. See how that middle one is centered at X. It's exactly what we want. Whoops, late behind on that last one. But you need to know your horse. You need to know how big the canter stride is, and you don't want to start too soon out of the corner or too late. You want to think of being able to place that middle change in the sequentials at X. Could have stayed a little bit more uphill. And that transition back has to be on the diagonal line. You don't want to have your change there in the corner. Good job, though. Very submissive ride. Looked like a real team today.
Tanya, Strasser-Shostak from Canada, and Action Time now completing. Official time now is 9:50. 9:50 official time. Next to go in the Young Riders team test is going to be number 547. This is Nakili, a 19-year-old Dutch warm-blood mare by Good Times out of Garnet by Vosmer, bred in California by Dr. Deb Harrison, owned by Cynthia Morcott and ridden by Clendy Muller from Loxahatchee, Florida. Full score on the board there for Tanya, Strasser-Shostak from Canada, with action time at E is a 68.289, H 67.368, C 68.026, M 63.158, and from B 65.789, giving us 66.526 as a provisional score.